All right, this is the first video for the clothespin holder. The first thing that we're going to need to do is if you go into your course, jump down into your modules, and then once you're in your modules, you can go down to your project instructions. Go ahead and choose your clothespin frame. All right, and what we're really looking at is basically the assembly and the pieces and all that good stuff. So in this series of videos, we'll definitely take a look at how to construct this and assemble this step by step. Then once you're done with that, go ahead into your Autodesk Inventor. You're going to have to create a new project, okay? And that is going to be a new single user. Hit next, put your last name, and clothespin. Perfect. Hit finish, and then OK. If you hit next, just keep hitting next or finish. It's the same thing, so it's not a big deal. All right, so once you're done with that, go ahead and finish that. You should see your project title right here. And then there's two ways to start creating these pieces. You can click on New right here, or you can go to File and New, and they are literally the same thing. All right. So before we do that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our frame. Now, on the clothespin frame, we have 3 items. The quantity we're going to ignore just because when we go to assembly, we can place more than one, or we can place as many of the same as we need. And then what I'm really looking at is the description. Now in the description, it's got 3 measurements. Obviously, it's a 3-dimensional object. So we're going to ignore the 0.75s here. We're going to ignore those. We're going to only concentrate on these 2 dimensions when we're sketching for the first part. All right. So in order to do that, we're going to go to back over to Inventor. We're going to hit New, Standard IPT, and Create. Okay. So you'll see as we go along in this video that it's a lot of repetitive movements and gestures that we're going to do just a little bit different as we start to create shapes and finish them up. All right, so once I've created my project folder, I started a new file, standard IPT, that stands for Inventor Part. Once we do that, we're going to have to click on Start 2D Sketch. And I want you to choose the XY plane, which is the actual front. Okay, you'll notice that in the orientation cube right here, it's square for you, front. And then the next step is to create the shape. So if I go ahead and I click down on rectangle, you'll see that I have like multiple options for rectangle. And truth be told, you can choose any which one you want. I like the 2-point center just because where we're going to start is the middle of your file, and it's nice to keep your piece centered up rather than off into space somewhere else. All right. So with the 2-point center, you'll notice my rectangle tool is blue. I'm going to go ahead, click on the middle, move outward, click one more time, and I've created my rectangle. Now, as a reminder, don't forget if your tool is still blue, that means it's still going. So I can create as many rectangles as I want. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z, undo. And I'll get back to my simple rectangle. So if you're in the sketch, make sure to press the escape key to get out of any tool anytime you're having trouble. All right, so once I've created the actual shape, I'm going to go ahead and dimension. All right, and I'm going to place that there, and I'm going to jump right back real quick. So we're going to be doing item number 1, and it is 1.5 inches by 20.5 inches. All right, so this dimension we're going to make is 20.5. And you'll notice that it kind of disappears and all that good stuff. That just means it's resize. And in order to get that back, all you have to do is roll upward on your mouse wheel, and that can zoom out. You can zoom in by pulling down on your mouse wheel. And then if you want to move this around, it's really a nice tool if you press down on your mouse wheel and hold it down, and then go ahead and move your mouse button. So it's a really significant piece there, because you got to sometimes move your sketches or your objects around to get to the correct angle or surface. All right. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and click on this line. Now, one thing I want to also say is if you ever get to dimensioning or doing something, and right in the middle is this little green dot, that is actually called a midpoint. We don't want to do that because that doesn't actually resize anything. It just is like kind of a dot on a painting or on a sketch right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and click on the line, move outward, click again. I'm going to add 1.5. Okay. So now that we have our 2 dimensions, we're going to go ahead and finish sketch. Okay, now we're out of sketch mode. You'll notice sketch is no longer blue. I've got a whole bunch of different options on my ribbon. Okay, I'm going to zoom out and center back up, and then I'm going to go ahead and extrude. Now, if you're looking at it correctly, the 0.75 is what we're actually going to do now. Okay, so once I hit extrude, if your piece doesn't automatically pop up, go ahead and click on your box that you created or whatever, and make sure you're identifying what you want. Okay, so in that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to hit distance A, and that's going to be 0.75. And you can choose basically forward, backward, or symmetrical, but you cannot do asymmetric. All right, you cannot do asymmetric. It's a whole nother ball game we're not going to get into. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit symmetric. Again, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to go ahead OK. Okay, so we have now created the solid body for the first part, but there's one more thing that we need to do, and that is to basically break the edges and corners of your piece. If you remember, we talked about it in Wood's class that you need to break the edges, make them softer. To what extent depends, but for the most part, we're just going to be nice and general with this. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to click the fillet tool. Once I click the fillet tool, I'm going to click and drag across the whole entire piece. Let go, and it's going to choose all of my edges and corners. All right, now in here you're going to put 0.0625. Okay, again 0.0625. If you choose 0.625, you're going to get an error, and it's going to come up and say, hey, what you're trying to do is way too big for the size of the object. So you're going to go ahead 0.0625, and voila. Now if I have everything good, I'm good. I'm holding down on my F4 button. You can see that little circle there. As you hold down your F4 button, that's right above your 4 or 5, depending on your keyboard. You can definitely see the curves on the edges for that piece. All right. So now that you're done with the first piece, all right, what do they call it in the cut list? Okay, that's a side. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit File, Save. And we're going to say Clothespin Side. Save. You'll notice down here it's got little tabs of your items and all that stuff. So now it's changed from part whatever to Clothespin Side. Okay, so now we're done with creating this piece. We're going to do the basically exact same thing. File, New, Standard IPT. Okay. I'm going to jump right back real quick to my cut list. In this case, it's going to be top, bottom, and we're going to go 2x18. Okay, so again, start 2D sketch, XY plane, that's the front right here. All right, 2-point center rectangle. Green is good, click on it. Move outward, click again. Dimension, make sure to get the line. And I believe it was 18. My God. Yep, 2x18. Okay, zoom out. Again, dimension tool is still blue. Click on the line, move out 2 inches. Okay, so I have my 2x18. Going to go ahead and hit finish. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, get a little bit more perspective, and then I'm going to go ahead and extrude. And again, this is going to be 0.75. All right. All right, fillet, click and drag, select all corners, and the edge is 0.0625. Boom, done. Okay, file, save this one. And anytime you actually save initially, you'll see Save As pop up, and that's just fine. Basically, technically it is a Save As. Anytime after you save it the first time, Save As, then you're just kind of saving a copy of it. So this is the Clothespin top, bottom. I don't know if it's going to like that character, but we'll see. Yeah, I figured so. We'll just spell it out. And bottom. There you go. Okay, so you'll notice down here, clothespin top and bottom. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and look at the middle pieces, and that's going to be 1.5 by 18, and again, same exact thing. So I'm going to go File, New, Standard IPT, Create, Start 2D Sketch, click XY Plane, 2-point center, green is good, click again, Dimension, 18, zoom out, click on the line, still in Dimension tool, up here, 1.5. Enter, finish sketch, extrude, 0.75, and OK. You'll notice that I did it a little bit different on the directions of extrusion. It's not a big deal because you're going to be mating the surfaces. So they just need to know in the software what you're actually intending to do for the surface. All right, so I got to put some fillets on this. Click and drag, let go, select, 0.0625, okay, and okay. All right, go ahead and save this. You can also do this little icon. It's the save button, same exact thing. Clothespin middle. Enter. Now, before I go, I just wanted to also reiterate, if you were ever going into one of these and you need to make some changes, if you have this browser bar, okay, and it's deleted or whatever, just press plus, get it back. And when you're in a file, you can do a couple of things with that browser bar. So let's say I messed up on the fillet size. I can double click and I can change that thing. Let's say I goofed up on the extrusion. Double click and I can move or redo some of the extrusion. If you had some problem in the sketch, what you do is you press on the plus here and then double click on the icon for sketch 1 and you're back into sketch mode. So whatever you change, go ahead and hit finish and it'll automatically update. And not only will it automatically update here, if they're in an assembly or anything like that, everything updates. Now that may pose a little bit of problems down the line. It depends on how your assembly was, but for right now, if you're just doing the parts purpose, should be totally good to go. All right, so you'll see I have the side, I have the top and bottom, and the middle already created. All right, and that's all we need. All right, we don't need to create 2 or 3 of these because when we place them, they're all going to be identical. All right, so that wraps it up for the first portion of our Autodesk adventure with our clothespin holder. And then in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to assemble.